Welcome to the Cajun Turnbuckle Podcast.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Cajun Turnbuckle Podcast right here on Dirty South Entertainment. We are your hosts. I'm Marcus. He's Rich. How you feeling this morning?
Good. Hey, for the first time in 3 weeks, we don't have thunderstorms happening, so we're not going to hear boomers over our head today. But yeah, man, feeling good. How about you?
Oh, I'm same here. I mean, the weather's nice outside. I ain't got to jinx myself and get cut off the air like I did last week and pop in on my phone for 10 minutes. But if anything grinds my gears this week, it's the damn love bugs.
You want to clarify?
Well, I just washed my truck, like 2 or 3 days ago, and yesterday I get back home and all I saw across my bumper, my hood, and my windshield is love bug spatters all over the place after I just washed it.
Ugh. Yeah, that's no fun.
It's gonna get worse when it's summertime and the mosquitoes are gonna be spattered all over my windshield. Then that's surely gonna grind my gears.
The worst one with that kind of stuff around here is when the pollen releases from the trees and everybody's car turns yellow.
Oh yeah.
Here in Central Texas, that pollen lets loose, man, and it's gosh, everybody. It don't matter. I have a gun barrel gray truck, and it has a nice yellow hue to it whenever the pollen releases.
My truck color, I got the weirdest name for a truck color: pepper dust metallic.
Excuse me?
It's like a
dust metallic. Is that like black, grayish black?
Grayish, brown, silver. It's like three colors blended into one. Like when you look at it far away, it looks brown, but the closer you walk to it, it turns silver.
Yeah.
Especially when the sun hits it.
Yeah, I mean, mine looks more black, but the actual listing I saw on it said gun barrel gray, and I'm going, all right, whatever. Yeah, I'm not that guy that knows all the color patterns and all that kind of stuff. I know regular colors. I don't get into, periwinkle, sky blue, pink, or whatever.
I just tell people I drive a silver truck. I get silver more than I get brown. So I just tell people I got a silver GMC Sierra.
So I get black more than I get gray. But,
Well, it's been a week now, and a lot has happened on social media. A lot of mixed emotions. I say mixed, mainly a lot of negative. But let's talk WrestleMania that happened last weekend for the second straight year in Vegas. I'll be on a limb. I mean, we'll start with night one, but I'm going to just go off a limb and just say straight up, night one was dog shit, but night two was way, way better than night one. I was astounded how good night two was, but give me your take about that, then I guess we'll break down night one a little bit, see what we liked about it, what we didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily going to say that night one was complete garbage. There was some decent stuff. The biggest, here's the thing to me, the most talked about thing, which I fully understand because it was an absolute surprise. From what I gather, it surprised everybody in the back. The biggest thing to talk about was Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Not what happened in the match, what happened after the match. So, I mean, and that seems to be the most talked about thing in the whole for both nights. The Jacob Fatu Drew McIntyre thing, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed Gunther and Seth Rollins. I don't think Saturday was as bad as you might think. Cody and Randy, the match itself was good. If you got rid of the peripheral stuff before and after, the McAfee and Jelly Roll stuff and the stuff with the punt and all that. If you just looked at the match itself, the match was pretty darn good. Which is what they should have done with it from the beginning and just let it be that match. Yeah, night 2 was better, but I think you're going a little extreme saying that night 1 was not good.
Well, this is why, because it's like, I don't know what was the worst match of the night. That 6-man tag was not good at all, even if you got a celebrity involved. The main event, I think the fact that Orton was having back problems, he couldn't carry the match. That's an outside with Jelly Roll and McAfee had made the match horrific because everyone was tossing up like either the opening match was the worst or the main event was the worst. And people were pissed about Cody going over Orton, saying Orton's been in 3 main events and he has never won a main event match at WrestleMania. And they're like, does Triple H really hate him that much? The unsanctioned match, which the first 2 matches on ESPN2, the 6-man tag was garbage. The unsanctioned match was actually pretty good. I felt like, hell, that should have opened the show. You want to open with excitement. Now, the rest of the card, I mean, the Fatal 4-Way tag match when Nikki Bella came out, yeah, obviously we knew what was coming. She was out, and then we got the return of Paige. I think the best match of the night was Gunther and Seth Rollins. That probably saved night 1 besides another big moment. But my opinion for night 1, match of the night was Gunther and Seth. Worst match, I'll just give it to the 6-man tag with ISO Speed and the Vision against the Usos and LA Knight.
Well, and I agree with you. Like I say, if you took the match itself of Cody and Randy and eliminated the garbage before and the garbage after and just looked at the match, it might be right there with Gunther and Seth Rollins. But, unfortunately, you have all that garbage. The 6-man, yeah, it was ridiculous. Jake Fatu and Drew McIntyre did absolutely nothing that made that match special. I mean, there was nothing that they couldn't have called it a street fight. They could have called it, a Vegas Strip street fight or whatever, instead of calling it an unsanctioned match. There was no, you knew there wasn't going to be any blood as soon as they said it was going to be on ESPN. You knew there wasn't going to be. So I was disappointed in that match, especially with those 2 guys in it. It wasn't that I thought it sucked. It was just I was disappointed in the way the match was done. I'm happy for Bianca Belair. I'm happy for Montez Ford. Congratulations to them. You didn't have to eat up 30 minutes of WrestleMania time to make that announcement. You could have done that Monday night on Raw. But yeah, I agree with you. Gunther Seth Rollins was definitely the best match of night 1.
And you think the worst match was the 6-man tag too?
Yeah, oh yeah. I thought that going in. When we talked about it on the pre-show, I thought this was going to be the worst match of the entire thing, which is a shame because LA Knight's really good. The Usos are really good. And as much as I can't stand saying this, Logan Paul's actually pretty decent. I still don't get Austin Theory. Sorry, Randy. Buddy of mine's one of the guys that trained Austin Theory. I still don't fully get Austin Theory. But, you had 4 guys in that match that actually are really good for that match to be trash. So,
yeah. And yeah, that was, to me, that might have been the best moment of night 1. We got Bianca making a surprise appearance, which unfortunately she will not be coming back anytime soon. Not just with the knuckle finger issue, but yeah, she is pregnant and she's got a baby bump, and I'll give her about maybe a month or 2 months before the baby comes. My opinion, I think it's a boy because she came out in all blue. She's like in all blue roses, and hell, in her maternity photos with Montez, he had on a blue suit. So I think it's a boy.
Well, that's very possible. I honestly didn't even notice that. And I mean, there was a stretch there. They thought she was going to lose that finger. I mean, she was having all sort of nerve and circulation issues and stuff like that with that finger. Um, and Montez, it was public knowledge that Montez and Bianca had been wanting to have a baby and that kind of stuff. I guess they figured that with her being out as long as she's going to be with that finger, this is as good a time as any to go ahead and, work on creating a family, which is great. Kudos to them. They could have made the announcement Monday night, especially when Montez came out Monday night. When the Street Profits came out Monday night, that would have been, they could have really worked that into having Bianca come out there and do the thing. They could have done all kind of cool stuff with that. They didn't have to take WrestleMania time to do it.
I guess they wanted to create a WrestleMania moment because, they wanted to do something with Cena, and hell, she even had the finger covered. Like, I was trying to pay attention to the finger. It looked like she had either like a big giant ring on hiding it, or some type of just like a single finger glove hiding like how it looks and everything, like how big it is and all that. Because I've seen an actual picture of how the knuckle and finger look. Like, I'm shocked they never amputated it, but I'm hoping they can recover it. But I think it's a boy, and hell, I'm waiting to find out what Naomi's having. Hell, two of the big three, people forgot Naomi's pregnant. She should be due soon. I think, my opinion, I think her and Jimmy's having a girl, while Bianca and Montez will have a boy. That's just me.
She should be. She's due. In fact, here's one for you. She's due on my birthday, August 3rd.
Oh, wow.
She's due on my birthday. So that would be fun. I'll take that date in the pool.
Here's my thing about night one, too. I mean, with how bad they were saying the attendance was going to be and everything, is it fitting that they were able to pull 50,816 for night one? They sure didn't pull 60,000. That's for sure.
Oh, no.
Now, when it comes to entrances, give me your three best WrestleMania entrances for night one.
For night one?
Yeah, we're just sticking with night one for now.
Three best entrances for night one. In no particular order. Bianca.
Yeah.
This is going to sound weird because it wasn't really an entrance except for the fact that I think he broke the world speed record. Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
And Finn Balor.
Oh, Finn was
not Finn Balor. I'm sorry. Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah, hers was good. It's just I was imagining like if this would have been like in the East Coast, it'd have been pitch black in the venue. I know she'd have had a cool ass entrance. But I did like hers. My top three, I gotta throw Jacobs in there. That one was pretty cool with the haka dancers spinning the torches, making that little like fire line like they do like if you ever go to like Hawaii or something or Samoa. That was pretty cool.
Right.
Right. I loved his. AJ Lee's was quote unquote adorable, but it wasn't a favorite. But I mean, it involved.
It was cute.
I mean, it was cute. I mean, you have little girls dressed just like her, wearing Converses. Each had a replica IC title, skipping to the ring with her in the exact same like outfit she wore in her match. So I mean, it was anytime you got. I think I've seen it with John Cena. Anytime you got kids involved in your entrance, you're gonna lose. John Cena had kids in his entrance twice, and he lost to Austin Theory at one WrestleMania, and he lost to Brock at WrestlePalooza. So when I saw that entrance with the little girls, I was like, "Oh, she's gonna lose." No, my second favorite, man, third one is a simple one. You know what? I'm gonna probably have to go with Seth's. Wasn't that over the top? I mean, I'm trying to get the contact eyes. Like he had solid black eyeballs, and then his jacket started smoking up.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure that
I didn't get
out,
it either.
but no, not taking nothing from Shawn Michaels, but I feel like Seth Rollins is today's Mr. WrestleMania. And my third favorite entrance, I'm gonna have to give it to Cody Rhodes. I loved how it looked like Tony Stark shit. Like you take an elevator to this like his version of like a bat cave or whatever, and then they had like 4 little like shadow boxes. They had one mannequin with his actual in-ring debut gear. He had no 7 with the green trunks and the yellow boots. The next box had the dashing Cody Rhodes with the face mask and the sleeveless hooded jacket, and then Stardust in the next box, and then the American Nightmare entrance gear he wore when he came back to WWE, leaving AEW when he fought Seth, and then he came out in all gold and the little skull mask that I call the Iron Man mask that opens up on its own. It was pretty cool. I mean, the Golden Boy, they called him, or I'd rather him be called the Golden Boy than QB1 because right now Roman Reigns to me is the QB1 in WWE. But no, those were like my top 3 right there. But night 1, I mean, I said what I said. The most shocking return, definitely Bianca Belair, because that was just a curveball. Because Paige's return got spoiled on social media, and when Nikki came out with the crutch, we were like, okay, Paige is back. But Bianca's was a big surprise. That was my shocking return for night 1, was Bianca. But that's all I got for night 1. If you want to add anything else on night 1.
No. I mean, there's a lot of talk about Liv Morgan's thing at the beginning, and
I don't hate her song, by the way.
Right.
I actually sat and listened to it. She's a little Britney Spears vibe. I mean, I did like her entrance a little bit. It felt like a damn pop star concert with the backup dancers and whatnot. And I didn't realize how good of a dancer she can be. I remember Jade Cargill had a similar entrance like that in AEW, and she killed it out the park. And Liv Morgan did the same thing.
Yeah. Outside of that, that's pretty much night 1.
Yeah. Then night 2, I think John Cena saved us because when the show started, they had the same night 1 graphics, but after he was like, "Welcome to WrestleMania," I love how the transaction on the graphics where it looked like an apocalypse, and then it was like, "Welcome to the future," and the night 2 graphics were way better. But no, I think from start to finish, hell, Brock and Oba, you called it. It was like, I think like 4 minutes, but it was an awesome 4 minutes. The ladder match. I mean, the ladder match. An IC title ladder match at WrestleMania never skips a beat. That match was a banger. It's a toss-up with that in the main event of what was match of the night. There really wasn't a bad match for night 2, but if I had to put one that was a little least interesting and didn't really deliver, I'm going to say Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. I thought it was going to be more graphic and brutal. It was just like the unsanctioned match. And not hating on the match, I just thought it would have delivered more. But I'll put that as like the worst match of the night. The women's top Rhea and Jade was decent. It was a good match. Trick and Sammy. I mean, I almost put that as the worst match because that one was about the same level as Dominic and Finn Balor. But that main event with Roman and Punk was really, really good, but people are questioning and pissed that they think even though Roman quote unquote won it on his own, they think he cheated because the referee didn't call a disqualification, hitting him with the steps outside the ring, and they think it was a mistake on the referee's behalf. I mean, I don't know. Like, people are 50-50 about Roman back on top or pissed that he didn't get disqualified. I mean, give me your take on night 2.
Yeah, I mean, the really funny part is, to me, the worst match, and I hate to say this because one of my favorites was in the match, but also one of my least favorites was in the match. Worst match to me was Rhea and Jade. As big a fan as I am of Rhea, and I think it was a dual issue. one, I think Rhea really is having some back issues. And two, she has come out, and anybody that's been watching this stuff can tell she's lost weight.
Yeah.
And she's come out publicly that she's had an eating disorder and things of that nature, and she's not as big and as intimidating, as much of a presence as she was. It's not like she's 6'5" or whatever, but she still had that build that, you knew she could whoop somebody if she really wanted to. And she's kind of gone the Charlotte Flair route of going with really being more slender. And the other part is Jade Cargill's just terrible. I'm sorry, she's just not very good. And even you put her in with the best in the business, and they can't carry her. Rhea just could physically. Rhea couldn't carry her in that match. Um, Disappointing to say, but Finn and Dominic, like you said, I thought there would be more brutality, to pull a pun from Rhea. I thought there would be more brutality, but there wasn't. Trick and Sammy kind of surprised me. It really did. Um, when Trick and Sammy started, I knew Trick was going to win. I just wondered how they were going to work it. Was Sammy going to have a legit chance, or was Trick going to pull an Oba and just squash him? Um, so, I think Trick is good for the U.S. title. I think we're going to end up seeing Trick and Carmelo Hayes before long. Sammy's not going away. We know that. So I think that's going to be something interesting. Punk and Roman I liked, which is kind of weird because I haven't been the biggest proponent of Roman. Just simply because I just think it's the same. He's got Hogan Savage Cena syndrome. That's the medical term for it. Hogan Cena Savage syndrome. It's the same match all the time. He got a little bit different this time, and I think part of that was dealing with Punk, because Punk caused a few things to go differently and that kind of deal. He gets a little creative with his matches and that. So I was happy with that match. I got the two main event results flipped because I thought Randy and CM Punk were going to win, and I missed on both of those. But the Obafemi and Brock match, that one you could see coming. What you couldn't see coming was when the match ended. And from everything that I have seen and heard, that was 100% off the book. They didn't know that Brock was going to take his boots and gloves off. Nobody knew. Heyman didn't even know.
Yeah. Real quick, what was your match of the night? The main event or the ladder match or what?
Oh, I forgot about the ladder match. Ladder match was really good. They've got a few guys in there that I am a big fan of. I like Penta. I liked Penta when he was in AEW. Javon Evans, man, if he could put on 10 or 15 more pounds, maybe 20, and still be able to move like he does, holy crap. It really enjoyed the ladder match. Match of the night? Boy. That's tough. I'd probably have to go Reigns and Punk.
Yeah. Now,
Um,
no surprise at all that Brock doing what he did after that match was definitely the shocker of the night because everyone thought, he was going to at least make it to SummerSlam. And looks like, I don't know if they're going to go down that path or unless, I don't know. That's only the answer Brock knows. But yeah, I was in shock that after, you could call it the passing of the torch, he takes the boots off, takes the gloves off, sends his farewell, hugs Heyman, kind of goes off character, walking up the ramp, greeting the fans, welcoming them, thanking them. Well, unless I'm gonna jump off the subject real quick because I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago you called it. Triple H is officially no longer in control of creative control. That's now TKO. Was this a TKO move? I don't know, because I thought a lot of us thought it would be Gunther that would have retired him, like at SummerSlam or something.
Right.
And I don't even think we're even going to go down that path, just like the shit with Cody retaining, which I'm going to throw two reasons why. One is 100% true. The other one, it's a biased thing, in my opinion. You want to talk about people being pregnant? McAfee's got his second kid on the way. He just posted maternity photos with his wife the Sunday or the Monday after the first or second Mania, and I remember he said on his show that he's got a baby boy on the way, and she's about to pop, and he's gonna go do his dad thing, go be a dad and go take time off to raise his son, his newborn son, and his other kid. And I kind of, if this is a TKO thing, I'm kind of really glad if this is the route they're going, they're going to drop this tag match idea with McAfee and Orton against Cody and Jelly Roll, because Orton hitting McAfee with RKO confused me. It's like, I guess now they want to push Orton as a heel. And then two, I don't know if you're a video game guy or not, but I feel like Cody retaining and putting the world title on Roman is to promote Street Fighter, because both of those guys are in Street Fighter coming out in October. Cody is, if you know your Street Fighter characters, Cody's Colonel Guile and Roman is Akuma. So you got two world champions to promote Street Fighter, just like they were promoting Mortal Kombat 2 when they had Pitta come out in a Shao Kahn mask, which was awesome as shit. And if you want to know, I mean, I'm more of a Mortal Kombat guy, but I'm so pumped for this new Street Fighter movie because it's going to actually look like the video game. Unlike the 90s one, which I ain't hating on the 90s movie, but the one they made in 2016 was dog shit. But no, I think it's not a business decision, but like a TKO thing. Like, we got two wrestlers, two of our biggest faces in one of the biggest video game movies coming out. Let's promote this movie by putting those guys as our world champions. That's just me. I feel like that's why Cody retained. So him and Roman can promote Street Fighter together as world champions.
Well, and that's a valid. I think that's a valid direction. This deal with Roman and Jacob, I could certainly see going somewhere. We're gonna see Obafemi get into it before too long, especially if you listen to the post-show interview where he talked about, the next thing is the world title. I think he's got a few steps to go before he gets there. I think we're going to see Oba and Gunther, which that could be real interesting, because Gunther is one of those guys that can go 30, 45 minutes. We've seen it. Obafemi ain't going that long. Sorry. I'm just calling a fact a fact. Obafemi is not going 30 minutes with anybody. I don't care who it is, especially not Gunther. So it'll be interesting to see how they would work something like that out. The Cody and Punk thing, that could be. I think we're going to see some stuff with Backlash that are going to be kind of one-offs. I hope. I'm with you. I'm glad that, I hope, fingers crossed, that tag match ain't happening.
I rather this storyline with Roman and Jacob to be the main event instead of the tag match.
Or Cody and Punk. Although I would save Cody and Punk for SummerSlam.
Yeah, but I'll bring that up later on. We're going to get it sooner.
Yeah, but whenever you look at it, I mean, it's very difficult to have pictured that match happening. So I'm glad that they've kind of killed that. Is it a TKO thing? Possibly. Is it a thing where maybe there's got to be, and you've got to remember, yes, Triple H is not there anymore. Well, he's there, but he's not the one in creative control. I will bet you anything that even though you got these TKO folks in there making these decisions and in essence running the book, there's still one guy who has that pencil that is going to make everything work for itself. That's Paul Heyman. Heyman having the pencil makes all the difference in the world because he's going to go back to doing stuff that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Everything that we've seen after Mania makes sense, right?
Right. And more.
So
I'll bring up.
I got a funny feeling that they may have these TKO people doing this, and they may be putting it out there that it's that way. But I think Heyman and Triple H are still running the pencil, particularly Heyman.
Mm-hmm. And no, I'm pretty sure that's your answer too. But Brock taking off the boots and gloves, kind of signaling a retirement, was your shocker of the night for night 2 as well.
No question. And you know how you could tell he's done? What's one thing Brock has never done in his career?
Interact with fans.
Broke character, exactly.
Yeah.
Even when he was a babyface, he did not interact with the fans. He did not, thank you. Didn't acknowledge him one drop. And what he did coming out, and especially the reaction that Heyman had. I mean, I know Heyman can feed everybody a line of crap. That was legit. Heyman has said that and I realize Heyman can feed everybody a line of garbage. He even said he didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Maybe it was a surprise for him. And my top 3 WrestleMania entrances for night 2, I'll throw in it's sad. I just had the first one in my head I was ready to say, and now I just had a brain fart. But I'll tell you, while I think about that, I'll just go ahead and jump to this one real quick. Night 2's attendance, a couple more thousand, 55,256, which now the moment he had with Danhausen, the Littlehousens, Kit Wilson, and The Miz, that was one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen. But I felt like that should have happened night 1 because night 1 was that bad that they had to put Bianca's pregnancy to kind of save it. But night 2 was so good, they should have put Bianca's pregnancy announcement to save it for night 2. But you know what I really thought was going to happen before the whole Miz, Kit Wilson, Danhausen segment? I was waiting for Undertaker to come out to announce him to be in the Hall of Fame in 2027.
Who, Cena?
Yes.
Yeah. Just knowing how Cena does things, I would be willing to bet you he was presented that idea and he shot it down because he didn't want to take away from the rest of the stuff that's going on the card.
Yeah.
He's always seemed like the kind of guy that is looking at the greater good rather than his own kind of a thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was brought to him, but I would bet you he shot it down if they offered it to him. In that scenario. In a different scenario, maybe when they're in Boston at some point and he's there for whatever reason, then I could see it. But so, did you figure out your entrances yet?
Yeah. Okay. So I was Penta with the Shao Kahn mask. That was my first, and then the last 2, of course, both of them. Roman Reigns. He always delivers with the main event, but I loved the tribute he did for it. His family members that were lost, like the Wild Samoans, Peter Maivia, Yokozuna, Umaga, his brother, Rosie. Like I was trying to, if I'm missing anybody else, but that's all I remembered seeing in the background on the Jumbotron. And then he went back to his head of the table entrance. So now we got the head of the table back. And that kind of gave me a sign like, oh, yeah, he's winning tonight. And then Punk had an amazing entrance. You know, the video package of him on top of Allegiant Stadium with his Ring of Honor theme from AFI, Misiera Canter, and showing like clips from his days and Ring of Honor, the Indies and ECW going to the main roster. That was pretty cool too. And then his ring gear, like the names on the jacket, which Michael Cole broke it down. Like, I mean, that was pretty cool too. And I found a video on Instagram. It was an Instagram reel. One of the guys who ran the drone making that video package for Punk, he did like a little vlog of like how everything broke down and how they did it, and it was pretty cool. But hats off to that little crew for having doing Punk's entrance like that, where he's like sitting Indian style on top of Allegiant Stadium with the strip in the background at night, and he's just like looking directly at the camera like if he was looking at Roman. And then Roman always delivers with an entrance. You get a choir or whatever. Yeah. You get a piano player, you get a female like humming, or you get someone playing like a giant harp. Like it's magic. Like Roman is like Seth. He always delivers with an entrance, especially if he's paying homage to his family. But that's my top 3 entrances for night 2.
Well, I'm with you on Punk and Roman. My third one's Trick Williams.
Bruh. I had the memes of him, like, for a second. It looked like he was in a wedding dress because his coat dragged 70-something yards, and then someone made it look like a giant receipt, too. Like, it was
that thing. Wait, they said that just the train on his jacket was over 80 pounds.
My gosh.
I'm amazed he wasn't blown up by the time he got to the ring. Because a lot of people don't realize that was a 75-yard ramp. Which, again, going back to night 1, makes Braun Breaker's thing even more impressive.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I would put Trick Willie up there as far as the entrances go.
Now, as far as Mania goes, this is where that's kind of my – well, I have a couple more things I want to bring up that happened Mania weekend related, but I'm going to jump the gun here. Yeah. When it comes to next year's WrestleMania, turns out they're going to stick with their plan. They're going to go to Riyadh during Riyadh season. Yeah. But this is what I'm told. It might shake things up a little bit in like another way, because if you don't know how Riyadh season works, it's months of festivals and concerts and events. It starts in October and it culminates in March. They might move WrestleMania 43 might be in March for the first time since WrestleMania 31, 2015, because they've had a long stretch being in April, and they're possibly consider making this one a one-night event, and it'll be the first Mania since 35 to be a one-night show, despite with Riyadh season closing in March, unless they're negotiating to push it a couple weeks back and have it in April and possibly make it a 2-night event. I'm not 100% sure about it, but I guess we'll see what happens. But also another thing, they think that Nashville got robbed like New Orleans, because supposedly Nashville was going to host WrestleMania 43, but their new stadium won't be complete until February of 2027. But WWE didn't want to be greedy and like, oh, we don't want to be the first event. Let the Tennessee Titans have the first set of events, and then we'll come after that. So they're pointing fingers that it's Saudi Arabia's fault because they threw more money. And by the way, I found out the answer why they took 42 away from New Orleans, because of how much money Vegas made for the first one. They were able to raise an even higher bid to host it back-to-back. They offered 3 times the money New Orleans did. So now we got the answer why they took it away from New Orleans. They offered a lot more money. It was common sense. And as a consultation,
that's been out there.
They gave them money in the bank. So, I mean, I understand.
That's been out there for a while that was why New Orleans lost it. Not saying it's right.
But you got other shows like, well, it's been a year and we've never gotten an answer why they really took it away from us. It was common sense. It's all about money. And they wasn't going to leave them. And they wasn't going to leave them empty-handed. Like, I'm sorry we took it away from y'all, but we can promise you a WrestleMania in the near future. But for now, here, we'll give you another exciting pay-per-view. We'll give you Money in the Bank, which I'm going to go to it. I can't believe it's going to be in freaking September when lately it's been in the summer. But, hey, it's Labor Day weekend. It's on a Sunday night. I'm off the next day. So that's the only reason why I'm going to go if they're not overpriced. But, yeah, I didn't think they got robbed. It was just an executive decision. But at least, after Saudi, either Nashville, New Orleans, or Indianapolis will be on the clock next for 44 and so forth.
Yeah. My money's on Indy. TKO is in a spot. They really are. Because you have to take into consideration with all the stuff that's going on in the Middle East. Okay. At what point do we make the deadline? Because if stuff is still happening over there, which it could be, we don't know. If there's still hate and discontent going on over there, to the degree that everybody involved could be in danger, or for that matter, that all the flight issues and all the shipping may not get where it needs to go and that kind of stuff. What's your deadline before you have to change venues?
I don't know.
Is it 6 months before? Is it 8 months before? It has to be at minimum, you would think, Thanksgiving at minimum.
Well,
or
I
at
guess
the latest,
they might go the same route like they did with the Rumble, because they were kind of in a similar boat with the Rumble, and they had a plan, and Royal Rumble was actually successful. So I'm pretty sure they know what they're doing, and they're going to make the right decisions. And plus, they just announced they're going back to Riyadh in June for Night of Champions at the Kingdom Arena. So, by the way, I'm a quick sport. This is my prediction here. If we get Punk and Cody, I can either see it happen that night if they don't want to wait till SummerSlam, or if they really, really want to build this. It'd be crazy if they do it, if they wait a whole year and do it at WrestleMania in Saudi. But same thing with Obafemi. If they don't put the rocket on him and put the title on him quick between Clash of Champions, SummerSlam, or even next year's WrestleMania, I can see Oba squaring off with Roman for that title.
I could too. I definitely could too. I think we've got, outside of the two champions, I think we've got probably 4 or 5 guys that are in the world title picture, that are legitimately in the picture. And I don't think that's a stretch. I mean, Braun Breaker is going to be in the picture. Obafemi is going to be in it. Gunther's going to be in it. Jacob Fatu is going to be in it. Seth is going to be in it. And don't forget about Randy.
Yeah.
You've got 6 legitimate contenders for those 2 titles. Mm-hmm. It's not like we're just throwing Jey Uso out there. Sorry, Jay. No. It's not like we're just throwing Jey Uso out there, or we're throwing and by this time next year, we may be adding Trick Williams to that list. But we're not throwing Carmelo Hayes out there. We're not throwing Sami Zayn out there. We've got 6 legit guys to chase after these titles. Can you imagine what Elimination Chamber would be like with those 6 guys in it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of
championships, that would be freaking tremendous.
I'm going to give you an update, because I said last week, if Roman won that title, I was ordering a belt. It has been shipped, and it will be on my way. I should have it by Monday.
There you go.
All right. Here's some rants I have that involve WrestleMania weekend. Let's start with, let's start with everything in Allegiant Stadium. I get, Vegas is such a tourist attraction. Of course, it's going to be overpriced, like anything would be, like in New York or LA or something. I just wanted to give these numbers to you, and I want to hear your thoughts and reactions about this. All right, first off, parking. I'm not surprised. Parking at Allegiant Stadium for Mania was $50. I paid $60 to park at 38 in Dallas. The resort fee was around 60. This is what got me concessions. Let's start with what's been the talk. They were selling tomahawk steaks at WrestleMania. That was the most expensive thing on the menu you could buy at Mania. It was $142 to eat a tomahawk steak at WrestleMania. A slice of pizza was $43. A burger was $42. This is what really got me. And I don't care if I am dying, dehydrating, or on the verge of death. I would never, in my life, ever pay $25 for a bottle of water.
No.
That was some of your prices for concession at WrestleMania. $25 for a bottle. How big is that bottle of water? About the size of a freaking Dasani?
It better be one of those 5-gallon bottles that you put in the office machine, you know? Yeah. I'm with
steak, you. I get the steak, but
well, yeah, but who the hell is going to eat a steak at an event? That's a put on. I know there were, but who really goes to an event to have a tomahawk steak? You're going to go and have a burger or a hot dog or some nachos or something like that. I mean, I'll bet you they did. I mean, I'm sure they sold several of them, but come on. I'm with you. And the parking, I'm not, I mean, hell, I know what Jerry World charges for parking. I'm very fortunate for the fact that every time I've been to Jerry World ever, I've been credentialed. So I've got media parking. I didn't have to pay those exorbitant prices. But on the opposite side of that, $50, $75, that's nothing. I mean, for Cowboy games, there are lots that are within reasonable distance of the stadium that are $100, $125 for a Cowboy game.
Yeah, that's all
crazy.
I got on
so
that.
The parking, I'm not going to freak out about that. The concessions, yeah. I mean, you literally at this point have to be somewhat either independently wealthy or not planning on doing anything with your family for the next year to go to WrestleMania. By the time you figure your ticket, the parking, food, the peripherals, the hotel, the cheapest hotel within 10 miles of that stadium for WrestleMania weekend was $350 a night. The cheapest. We're talking like Red Roof Inn. Nothing against Red Roof, but Red Roof Inn, Motel 6, $350 a night. You wouldn't pay $35 a night for those places normally, but because of the event. I fully understand what you're saying, but yeah, I mean it's gotten way out of hand. Out of hand.
I got lucky when I went to Dallas. I stayed in a shithole, literally like 25 miles from Dallas for like $140 a night. But it took about 40 minutes to get to Jerry's World, but I mean that was fine with me. All right, speaking of going to WrestleMania, so oh man, your background is a prime example to make wrestling great again, because I am calling out the IWC right now, especially those that traveled to Vegas for WrestleMania weekend. These people can sure fuck up a wet dream when it comes to whatever. There's boundaries when it comes to meet and greets or shockingly running into somebody in public wherever. But because of certain people like these guys, whether it's a man or a woman, mainly it's been men, they sure know how to ruin future meet and greets or whatever. Mm-hmm. For prime example, I mean, I'm only going to bring up 4 and run them as quick as I can. The Saturday of WrestleMania, I saw a video of a random fan getting into a fight with freaking Big Vito at a meet and greet. You're going to go fight a former wrestler. The one that's been the talk of the town is some dumb motherfucker who met Cora Jade or Elena Black, a former WWE superstar, at a meet and greet and grabbed her ass in public. And she stated on social media that because of that altercation, being sexually assaulted. She's never doing meet and greets ever again. So now I feel bad for all her diehards that were wanting to meet her, and she's claimed that after what happened to her, she's never doing meet and greets ever again, even if you paid her a shitload of money. And then it's the ones that run into them in hotel lobbies, the gym, restaurants, whatever, trying to squeeze a selfie in or whatever, and they don't want to be bothered. Look at Randy Orton. He was being aggravated by running fans. The only one that stood his ground was Royce Keys, Hobbs, whatever. There was a video going around like he told a fan off like, this is my time, leave me alone, whatever. And it gets worse and worse, and it makes it bad for people like us who know how to interact with wrestlers. So I came across this and I died laughing. This is for people who are in that same boat. Here's the rules of being a wrestling fan. Don't chase wrestlers. Don't touch them especially. And most of all, be presentable. Please shower, because I know most of you motherfuckers don't wear deodorant. And I wish they'd have had wear deodorant. And dress like a freaking adult. I know you like to cosplay. Some of the cosplaying is off the chart, but then they got some, they look like they're homeless. But like at the bottom, be respectful, be grateful, be the reason wrestlers enjoy meeting fans, because today y'all fuck shit up. And it sucks now that we have to hear them complain that they got assaulted or they're getting aggravated. And I'm sick of it. I'm sure you came across all this stuff over the weekend with Orton and Hobbs and Elena Black and Big Vito, unless you saw some other stuff that happened. But you want to give a quick thought about all that shit?
I did. And there's one thing missing off this sign. I like the sign, by the way. But there's one major thing missing off of there. Please and thank you.
Oh, and don't call them by their real name.
Thank you well, that too, but please and thank you will get you a long way with these folks. And first, and one other thing, who in their right mind would take the opportunity to piss off still powerhouse to me, Royce Keys? Royce Keys could break most people in half. Why would you? Why? The whole thing there, and I've seen it a lot of times with meet and greets and that kind of deal. Some of the folks, if you're very cool with them, and if you're, again, please and thank you, very polite, that kind of stuff, you can when you take your picture with them, they'll put their arm around you, around your back. You put your arm around their shoulder, that kind of thing. If the height works, that's, if they're cool with it, then you're cool with it. The don't touch is a two-way street. If they're cool with it, then okay. I know there's a lot of people, a lot of the wrestlers that, and a lot of the personalities that aren't, which is fine. That's their prerogative, But there's those times that you just don't even think about it, when they're out with their families, if if they're working out, that's another one, you see them at the gym or whatever. Because they're focused on what they're doing. They're focused on spending time with their family and that kind of thing. Now there's also another little part to this, okay? Because I've never seen anybody that I've come across anyway that gets mad if, say, they're at dinner or whatever, and someone comes over and says, "Hey, Mr. So-and-so, I just wanted to tell you I'm a big fan. I appreciate your work." Gone.
That's it. Yeah.
I've never heard of anybody getting mad about that. Now, wanting to carry on a 5-minute conversation while they're having dinner, yeah, they get mad about that. But if you come over and just tell them, "Hey, thank you, I appreciate your work, been a big fan, whatever," and leave, they're not going to get mad at that. It's all, this whole thing breaks down to respect for them. Dress like an adult, I get it, but at the same time, like you said, some of these folks that cosplay look pretty legit. Some of the costumes these people come out with, man, I mean, whether they're dressing like Macho Man or Cody or Rhea or whoever it is, I mean, they are nice looking costumes.
If you're going to cosplay a
That's a little
superstar,
different thing.
if you're going to cosplay a superstar, you better look like their stunt double instead of a cheap version of
Right.
them.
And a lot of them do. Full credit to the ones that do. I mean, I'm sure you've seen, and a lot of folks that are watching have seen, like in the preview shows and things of that nature. There's there's that group of like 4 or 5 of the guys, and one dresses like Macho Man, and one dresses like Dusty in the polka dots, and one dresses like, who is it? Taker, I think it is. And the costumes are almost dead on. The guy that dresses like Dusty even has a blonde curly hair wig that he wears with the t-shirt and the polka dot short and that kind of thing. Okay, if you're gonna look that good because it's respect to the wrestler as well. Now, granted, if you're gonna dress like Brooklyn Brawler to meet Brooklyn Brawler, okay, Brooklyn Brawler looked like trash going to the ring. Let's be honest. He had a ripped t-shirt and dirty jeans and all that kind of stuff. I get that. But yeah, you got to respect these people. I mean, they they have very little time with their families and their friends and things like that. It's just it's gotten out of control is what it had. And a lot of these wrestlers, especially the females, feel threatened. Like you were just talking about Elena Black. I know Rhea Ripley's had situations. AJ Lee had one at the airport. I don't know if you saw this one or not, where Punk slapped the phone out of the guy's hand.
Yeah, that's another
Because
one.
he was giving Bailey and AJ Lee a hard time.
That's another one I forgot to mention. Yeah, that was Monday. Yeah.
But what the other part of it is, and it's really kind of what I'm really waiting for is when it actually does happen. And I thought Vito was going to do it, but he didn't. Is when one of these guys that can legitimately whoop the ever loving snot out of these people when someone goes too far and they wipe them out. It'll just take one, and people will stop doing that crap. But to me, it's always been a respect thing. Please and thank you. You don't address them by their government name, unless, of course, that's their, John Cena, Kurt Angle, that kind of thing. That's their government name. Sorry. You address them in character. And even at that, it's Mr. Angle, Mr. Cena. If they tell you to call them by their first name, go ahead. That happened to me with Kurt Angle when we did a radio promotion with him. He called me and I answered the phone, hello, Mr. Angle. And he went, no, it's Kurt. Okay, fine. At that point, go ahead.
Yeah.
Be respectful. That to me, that's the biggest message I can put out there. Is just be respectful to these people.
Exactly. One last thing. I'm going to put them together. You see, we always got to bring this aftermath up when it involves WrestleMania. First off, superstar shakeups, because there's no purpose for a freaking draft. But superstar shakeup, yeah, like you mentioned, the Street Profits showed up on Raw. Obafemi's officially part of Raw. It looks like Jacob Fatu is going to be a part of Raw. While on SmackDown, you got Danhausen going to SmackDown. Rey Mysterio's jumping to SmackDown. Some of the call-ups, like we saw Soruka show up on Monday Night Raw. Joe Henry's going to be a part of Monday Night Raw. SmackDown coming from NXT, like Fatal Influence is popping up. Your boy Ricky Saints is getting called up finally. He's going to SmackDown. Awesome. But let's also talk about the budget cuts, the releases. And this has been going crazy over the weekend. It's a long list. I'm not even going to break the whole list down, but I think the three that shocked me was the Wyatt Six. All the members have been released. Aleister Black with Selena Vega getting released, and Kyrie. That one pissed me off. Kyrie Sane getting released, and I get it, budget cuts and whatnot. And then everyone's blaming like ISO Speed and Jelly Roll being involved, and hell, even saying, "Oh well, the MF, the family tree are all Roman and Rock's cousins are safe because it's Rock and whatever. But I mean, it's every year it's always like this. But give me your take on the NXT ones getting called up, the ones switching around to Raw and SmackDown. Hell, I think even CM Punk might even move to SmackDown because him and Cody are going to have a feud down the road soon. And the releases we just had in the last 12 hours.
Well, I think we're going to see a lot of guys doing both shows, just because of different things. If we've got Punk and Cody, we're going to have Jacob and Roman for the time being. I think we're going to see those guys on, multiple shows. Danhausen is going to be on multiple shows. I think he's going to be on both shows. Miz is on both shows, because he was on SmackDown last night and he's been on Raw forever. So that I'm okay with. If it makes sense, I'm okay with that. Because if you remember right, they used to do the whole roster was on both shows. The cuts, the one that got me, and it almost had to have been she requested her release, was Kairi Sane. Because remember several years ago she requested her release to take care of some stuff with her family. The only thing, unless they're looking at strictly an Asuka and Io Sky situation, and Kairi had requested her release because they didn't really have anything for her. They weren't going to have the Kabuki Warriors together anymore, which sucks because that's a great tag team. I get. Could I see her popping up in AEW? Sure. Put her with Mina Shirakawa or put her with Hikaru Shida. And you could have some really cool stuff there. I wasn't surprised on the Wyatt Six, Mark. I really wasn't.
Look, they tried. I mean, exactly. I know a lot of people are going to be fierce because everyone loved Bray Wyatt. Look, no disrespect to Bray's legacy, but when he passed away, his legacy kind of passed away with him, because if he would have still been here today, then all these guys would still be around. They gave the keys to Bo to give it a try. They had a whole year to try and make it something. And I mean, I'm not being disrespectful. I mean, it sucks that they're gone, but it wasn't going anywhere.
Right.
It wouldn't be nothing without Bray. And I don't want to put Bo's profession down. And I know the Bray diehards are going to get mad about it, but it's the truth. I'm sorry. They tried, they gave it a try, and it wasn't going anywhere.
The two most popular parts of the Wyatt family weren't in the Wyatt Six. Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. Because Bray had brought Alexa in and all that kind of thing. I'm with you. They tried, and it just never took off. Is there some good talent in there? Yeah. I mean, I think Eric Rowan is a fantastic wrestler. And I think he'll be able to do some really cool things. He's another one I could see going to AEW. The other one that pissed me off is the Motor City Machine Guns.
I think they're going back to TNA.
But they bring them in, they win the belts, then they take the belts off of them, and they have them completely floundering after that. Those two guys have got more talent than 90% of the tag teams on that roster. I mean, they should be a prime focus tag team. They should be fighting the Usos. They should be fighting Priest and Truth. They should be fighting those guys. They shouldn't be screwing around with, the Mexican jumping beans and the these other guys. Was it Humberto and Santos and those guys? No.
Oh yeah,
I mean, Santos Escobar is going to AAA.
Oh yeah,
and then you put them in there with when they were wrestling Pretty Deadly, and they should be wrestling those top tier teams. I thought whenever they first put them with Gargano and Ciampa, I was like, oh, these are going to be great. These matches are going to be spectacular. And then all of a sudden, they don't do it anymore. And I'm like, okay, what did Saban and Shelley do to piss in somebody's Wheaties? They're going to go back to TNA, I'm sure, and they're going to win those tag titles for the 74th time. And that's the one that got me up. I've been upset about this for 6 months, that they have not used the Motor City Machine Guns the right way. Those guys have just got so much talent, and they got a lot of this comedy show crap going on. When you got guys that, I'm sorry, I've always been a Motor City Machine Guns fan. Tag team wise, I like them the same way I like AJ, if that tells you anything.
Yeah. But I mean, some of these people I could see, like, and I hate the marks that say, oh, they're all going to go to AEW. No, they're not. Some might go. Some are going to go to TNA. They got some could go to Japan. Some might go do GCW in the Indies. But wherever they go, they're gonna go be great somewhere else. It's hard to it's hard to make something in WWE. It's hard to get on that pedestal with like a Roman Reigns, a Cody Rhodes, or a Randy Orton. Not everyone can be that type of level. And with some of these faces, they say, oh, they can. Yeah, maybe 5% of this list, maybe, but not the entire list. But
and Zelina Vega was in TNA before. Motor City Machine Guns have been in TNA before. Santos Escobar was in AAA. Aleister Black was in AEW. He was in Ring of Honor. I'm sure that Aleister and Zelina would like to be in the same place again, since they are husband and wife.
There's a couple on this list I don't even know, but some of these were like Evolve superstars and some that just got in the door of NXT that they ended up releasing. So, like, I don't even know most of them names. But
Zoe Stark is still coming off that last knee injury. She's got all the talent in the world. She can't stay healthy.
Yeah. Andre Chase was a shock, too. Yeah. Andre Chase and Alba Fire is another one. Oh, yeah.
They killed Chase U, which meant Andre Chase is no longer needed. And Alba Fire, I think the reason they let her go is because they've taken Chelsea Green's character and kind of pivoted it. Piper Niven's not around because of her neck injury. So Alba Fire is just kind of out there flapping in the wind.
Yeah. But other than that, that's all I got for this show. I know your battery is on life support.
I'm down to like 8%. I'm at 8%.
And the final day of the draft just started. I got to go hop on one last watch along of the draft. I've been on live streams all week, and this one will be my final one until Monday. So let them know where they can find you, and we'll go ahead and wrap this up.
I'm Big Rich 8371 on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it this week. Facebook, just my name, Rich Richardson. Right here, Driving to the Top Productions. On Mondays, we do Fans in the Diamond, Fans Chat in the Diamond, and we have a great time with that, talking baseball. Tuesday, open mic and Steel City Sports Talk on Wednesday with Adam. We get into all things Pittsburgh sports. I just got a message, your battery is low. And I'm on here with Marcus whenever we can, and when we do these Cajun Turnbuckle casts.
Yep, I'm at Dirty South ENT _ on X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm on Monday nights on Fans of the Diamond, Tuesday nights on Open Mic, on the go, usually on Wednesdays, but I might do a different day, or I might do more than one show a week, and then do this whenever we can. So, but thank y'all for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next time.